All right, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps that I take every day to burn fat and build muscle at the same time. Now, I can 100% guarantee that if you're not doing any of these 7 things that I'm about to share with you, you'll have less muscle on your frame and be carrying more body fat. And as long as you follow through with the tips that I lay out for you in this video, especially the last two, which are the most important, you will achieve the same. Now, the thing is, I've been exactly where you are right now. And I've spent consecutive years feeling stuck, following bad advice, and just getting absolutely nowhere. But now I've figured out what actually works through with my clients and their results, but also experimenting with myself. And I just want to help you guys avoid the mistakes that I made so you can actually finally start seeing results yourself. Because chances are you don't have a motivation problem, you have a results problem. Now, if you saw results from the effort that you were putting in every single day, then you'd stay motivated because it would be impossible not to. Now, tip number 1 is protein. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, protein is the foundational building block to building muscle, and we absolutely need it. Now, you should be prioritizing eating as much protein as possible to build muscle tissue. Now, you might ask why? Well, think of protein as basically bricks to building a house. Now, the house being the muscle that you need to build, right? So, no bricks, no house. And if you're not consuming enough protein, then you basically don't have the bricks to build the house. And yet people still get this wrong all the time. People either don't eat enough protein in a day and they waste all their daily calories on eating too much carbs and fats, or they just don't eat high enough quality protein. So speaking of these high quality protein sources, the most bioavailable ones are going to be your animal based sources like meat and eggs. So if you're really trying to build muscle, don't fall for the trap of eating shit like beans and things for protein that aren't complete, because you're going to have to supplement them with something like white rice in order to actually use that protein. So a gram of protein from something like almonds is not going to be equal to that of steak. So another reason why protein is so important is because if your goal is to burn fat and build muscle, you need to understand that it has a higher thermic effect when you eat protein, meaning that your body turns about 20 to 30% of its calories during digestion into it basically makes it harder to digest. So you're better off overeating on protein because it's harder for the body to store protein calories as fat. That's what I wanted to say. So how much protein is enough? Well, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is what I recommend all my clients. And then to spread those out through about 3 to 4 meals throughout the day. That's usually the best way to go about it for optimal protein. So tip number 2 is to eat real whole foods and eliminate all processed food from your fridge and your cupboards. Look, I'm not just gonna sit here and say that processed foods won't help you build muscle, but I'm just telling you that they make it way easier to overeat and pack on fat. But when you stick to single ingredient whole foods, things that walked, grew, flew, or swam, you're not only fueling your body with quality nutrients that you can't really get from some multivitamin, but how can you ever binge on steak, potatoes, or rice? You just can't. So whole foods naturally keep you in your daily caloric goals, basically. So tip number 3 would be lift weights. So resistance training is the best way to build muscle. Now, there's a reason why bodybuilders lift weights. It's because it's the most effective method of building muscle. And as for guidelines around how much you should be training, I would say 4 times a week with a structured program, keeping sessions under an hour and focusing on 8 to 15 reps per set, depending on the exercise, of course. And if you can do 15 reps, definitely increase the weight. And if you can do less than 8 reps, you should decrease the weight and complete that set with however many reps you were supposed to complete. For example, an additional 4 reps to the 8 is going to put you at 12 reps. I would say that's fine. So you would be doing the additional 4 with a lighter weight. And ideally, you would also want to stick to around 4 exercises per muscle group on a given day. So tip number 4 is cardio. So cardio is extremely important for burning fat, but only if you do it in the right way. So here's something that I notice all the time here when I'm at the beach in Cyprus, but also all over the world, is that I see people going out jogging. And honestly, I think it's great, but, I see them and they're trying to get fit, and that's something I, of course, respect. But here's the thing. Have you ever noticed that most of those people don't actually look aesthetically fit? Why is that? Well, it's because jogging doesn't burn fat the way that most people think. Instead, it burns through your glycogen stores, because essentially what it does is it jumps your heart rate all the way up to around 140 beats per minute, which isn't quite the fat burning zone. It's more like just completely destroying your energy and burning you out. So what we want to do instead is we want to try and get between 90 beats per minute and 110 beats per minute. So that's what actually works. And that's called low intensity, steady state cardio. So this is what I do. And this is what I also recommend to my clients. The best way to actually do that is walking. So if you could walk or do the elliptical machine, for example, this keeps your heart rate between 90 and 110 beats per minute. And that would mean that you're directly burning fat. So it's easier on your joints, it's sustainable, and it doesn't leave you feeling absolutely wrecked afterwards. Because think about it. If you go for a run, you're probably sore for a few days, right? It's not like you can go for a run and then just follow after that with some intensive workout and then you know what I mean, okay? So I don't really have to explain that. So, you just don't feel like working out again. You lose consistency and it's just a bad time. So let me ask you this. What do you think is better? Jogging a couple of times a week and feeling drained, or walking every single day and staying consistent? The choice is simple, right? So tip number 5 is stress management. Now, man, every single morning I wake up, my mind is just flooded with these negative thoughts and negative feelings. And it's just it happens every single morning now. And I believe it's partly from the spike of cortisol that we all have in the morning when we wake up. But nowadays, instead of just letting it take over, I've started doing something that really, really helps. And that's expressing gratitude from the moment that I wake up for all the things that I'm grateful for. So big or small, I do that. And I do that up until, brushing my teeth and walking downstairs, and every single step I take, I'll do that. And it doesn't interrupt my routine, but by the time I'm done, my mindset has just completely shifted. This has really, showed me that you can actually impact your entire day by just habit stacking this in the morning, and it doesn't have to intervene with anything else that you do. But the results have really been crazy, and it just makes such a difference doing this. It just gives me so much more energy and focus throughout my day, sets the tone. It's perfect. Another great way to hit the mental reset button is through meditation and box breathing. So box breathing is inhaling for 4 seconds, holding it for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds, and then holding again for 4 seconds. So you do that a few times and it completely relaxes your nervous system Another thing Andrew Huberman talks about is the double inhale, which you can also give a try to quickly relax. It's like a, so that's the double. So I used to think that I didn't have time for stuff like this, but the truth is that if you don't make time to manage your stress, then your stress is going to completely manage you. You probably see it with friends, you probably see it with family, but you might even be experiencing it yourself. So tip number 6 is hydration. So staying hydrated is like keeping oil in your car's engine. So without the right amount of oil, the engine won't run smoothly. So parts are going to grind together and eventually your car is going to break down. Now, water does the exact same thing for your body. It keeps everything running smoothly, your muscles, your joints, your digestion, and even your brain, right? So when you're not hydrated, your body just struggles with even the simplest basic tasks. And over time, things are going to wear down and your body is just going to feel like trash, right? So this is where most people go wrong as well. So drinking more water doesn't automatically mean that you're more hydrated. So if your pee is clear, that's just a sign that you're probably flushing out all of the essential electrolytes that your body needs to stay hydrated. So to stay properly hydrated, I like to add a pinch of natural sea salt or Himalayan salt to my water. What this does is it just replenishes the minerals in my body, which my body loses while sleeping especially. And I've noticed that it's made a huge difference in how I feel. And if I try and do like press ups in the morning without actually doing that, I just feel terrible. So it's become a non-negotiable for me. Also, prioritize the quality of your water. So high quality water from glass bottles or a good filtration system just gives your hydration, let's say, that extra boost, right? It's not just about drinking more, it's about giving your body what it actually needs to function at its best. Because, your body is made up of a lot of water. You guys probably know that, but So tip number 7, sleep. So sleep isn't just, important, it's the foundation for everything. It's the foundation for everything that you're trying to achieve. So without it, building muscle, burning fat, and even maintaining good health becomes nearly impossible. You can train hard, you can eat right, you can stay consistent, but if you're having shoddy sleep, then you're just capping your results hard. So we all know the basics by now. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep, stick to a consistent sleep schedule, and avoid blue light before going to bed. But we're going to go deeper than that in this video. So one of the most effective ways to actually get your body to fully relax is by supplementing something called magnesium glycinate. Sometimes it can be found as magnesium biglycinate, which is essentially the same thing. But what it does is it helps calm your nervous system, which reduces muscle tension, and it also improves your overall recovery. So most people are actually deficient in magnesium. So the first time you take it, you might realize that it's got this huge effect on you and you're just gone. So that might be a good way to kind of test it, is like how much did it affect you? If it affects you a lot, then it means that you're just very deficient in it. But yeah, it's highly bioavailable, meaning that your body is going to absorb it extremely well. And I usually have it around 30 minutes before sleeping. And yeah, for me, it just completely knocks me out. I wake up the next morning and I feel incredible. So yeah, give it a try. Some other things that you can try are timing your meals and your caffeine far enough from actually impacting your sleep. So 2 to 3 hours before bed, no more food, no more snacks, so that our bodies aren't digesting the food instead of recovering. It's also going to help with if you're thinking of trying intermittent fasting. What you can do is you can have your last meal at, let's say, 6, and then your following meal at, let's say, 12 a.m. the following day. That's really going to help you, you know, burn fat. So, no more food after, let's say, 6, 7, and then intermittent fasting is also really helpful. So, another thing, properly winding down before sleeping, like doing breath work, meditation, or journaling, has been really helpful. I find that gratitude meditation has really helped me recently, actually, in combination with the magnesium. I just find it perfection. But yeah, these tips are the fundamentals of fat loss. They might not sound the sexiest, but mastering the basics is really all you need to get results for really the rest of your life. Now, if you want my help, you can click the top link in the description, and what that will do is it will take you to my calendar where you can book a call with me. Now, if you don't need my help, great. I also post daily push-ups and cold showers every morning on my story. I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing that, and I also document my thoughts on there too. So if you're interested in any of that, give me a follow on Instagram. Other than that, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.